All right, so I previewed the AFC East for you guys. Give you guys my AFC outlook. Now, it is time for the next division in the other conference. That is the NFC East, which, for all the football novices out there, that division consists of the Cowboys, the Giants, the Redskins, and the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Redskins, Giants and Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. Everybody knows who they are. And just as the AFC East is very interesting, this division is also interesting. This division, I think, is in the most limelight per season. The majority of these teams play a lot of primetime games, especially, obviously, the Cowboys, as it seems like they're always on primetime. The Redskins get their fair share, the Eagles, the Redskins. So they all get their own shine, so to speak. They all get their own opportunity to be put on a main stage and to showcase their players. And there's a lot of changes from this division this year compared to last year. If you really look at the Dallas Cowboys, they no longer have Des Bryant, who was a mainstay on that roster for over half a decade. I think he played 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have Kirk Cousins, who is no longer the quarterback for the Washington Redskins. The Redskins elected to go with Alex Smith. They made a trade with Kansas City. They get Alex Smith. They extend Alex Smith, basically setting in stone that Alex Smith will finish his career with the Redskins. And that was always a really weird situation to me, that the Redskins were not really gung-ho on Kirk. They just seemed to always find a way to franchise tag him, to keep him for a year, franchise tag him again, keep him for another year. Just didn't go the way that they wanted it to, or whatever happened. Who knows what happened in that case. But nonetheless, they go with a guy that's a little bit older than Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith. But nonetheless, Alex Smith, last year, if you want to talk about fantasy football, was one of the top 5 best fantasy football quarterbacks last year. He had a lot around him. He had Tyreek Hill. He had Travis Kelce. He had Kareem Hunt. Now he goes to the Redskins, and they've added some weapons too. They got Paul Richardson. They've made some moves. One of the moves that they made is out for the season, and that was Geis, the running back from LSU. What a shame that injury is, and that's definitely going to hurt him for sure, that they're losing a player of that caliber, of that magnitude. And then you have the New York Giants, who were facing a huge decision in whether or not they should draft a quarterback second overall, or whether they take a running back in Saquon Barkley, and they took the running back. And I don't blame them. I think that was the right decision. There's a lot of Giants fans that say that was the wrong decision, that they thought they should have went after a quarterback, but I disagree. I think they were right in going after the running back. I think Eli's got 3, 4, maybe 5 solid years left. He's never really been hurt. Plays tough, would have had the consecutive streaks, active consecutive streak, carrier, had he not been benched inexplicably by Ben McAdoo last season. And I do like the coaching change in New York with Pat Shurmur. I thought he did a great job as the offensive coordinator for Minnesota. You saw what they were able to do with Case Keenum. And now he's got a lot better of a quarterback to work with in Eli Manning, who quite possibly could be in Canton one day. So all that being said, I think Eli Manning will be in Canton one day. And then you have the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champs. How is this all going to shake out? Because all of these teams are looking to be above 500. The Redskins are trying to win now. Dallas is always trying to win now. The Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champs, and the Giants have a new coach. They're looking to win now. So this division is going to be very tight. This division is going to be very interesting. And in terms of how I see it shaking out, I do see the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, winning the division. I think they have too much talent defensively. They're too deep, almost, on defense. It's almost ridiculous. Carson Wentz, healthy, is a huge factor heading into 2018. It appears as if he is healthy, and it appears as if the Eagles, are going all in with him, as they should. Nick Foles is the backup still, so they know if anything goes wrong, they get the best quarterback situation probably in the entire NFL. You get the Super Bowl MVP as your backup. So I think the Eagles are in good hands. I think they will win the division. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they will be 12-4 in 2018. I'm going to say the second-ranked team in the division will be the New York Giants. I think the Giants offensively have added one of the best running backs to come out of the draft in recent memory, and that says a lot because there's been quite a few, and I think Saquon Barkley is the real deal. I would have picked him first overall if I was Cleveland, and really I wouldn't have thought twice about it. I think he's going to do wonders for Eli. He's going to extend Eli's career. He's going to do what the Giants want him to do if he stays healthy, obviously, which I think he will. I think the Giants' defense is getting better as well. And that's something that I'm going to keep my eye on, obviously, but I think they'll finish second in the division. I think Dallas will finish third due to the fact that they have really not gotten better, in my opinion, on the defensive side of the ball. And Dallas, as well, has lost some weapons. I don't really think they have a true number one wideout receiver right now, where Philly has a 1, a 2. They're just loaded. And the Giants obviously have a 1. They have a solid number 2 in Sterling Shepard, and they have Evan Ingram. Dallas is in a little bit of a transition right now, and the more they rely on Dak Prescott to crawl them out of the hole that they might be in at some point during the season, I think it'll be like quicksand. And the Washington Redskins, I have them in fourth. I think they were right in going with their gut, knowing that they couldn't re-sign Kirk Cousins. They went with a guy that I think has been one of the most underrated quarterbacks in recent memory in Alex Smith, a guy that I've always liked. I've always been a fan of. He's just a solid, consistent, steady passer. He's an accurate passer. He's a guy that doesn't turn the ball over. He's a guy that can make plays as well. I thought last year was one of the best years of his career, and Washington did as well, which is why he is a Washington Redskin. So that's how I have it, and if I were to predict the records for each team, I'd say Philly 12-4. I'd say the Giants 10-6. I would say the Cowboys 8-8. And the Redskins 7-9, and the Cowboys fans out there won't like my prediction, but they're really relying on Ezekiel Elliott, and I think them doing that is fair and it's justified and it makes sense. It's warranted, but I think teams will stack the box and load up. I think they will try to thwart their efforts, and Dallas could very well have a very one-dimensional offense this season, and I don't know if that is what breeds a playoff team or let alone a Super Bowl team. You got to have all three phases of the game, and I think Dallas is one-dimensional. And as I said, I think the Giants with Saquon, I think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year offensively. The Redskins, they're not fully there quite yet. There's a little bit of ways to go, so that's my take on the NFC East, and I really think that this division is one of the best divisions in football, just in terms of its intrigue and the fact that each team plays at a primetime level every week. It'll be a close division, but one that I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the clear favorites of heading into 2018. The real question is, does Jason Garrett get fired if the Dallas Cowboys don't make the playoffs, which I think he should? The real question is, how will Jerry Jones' stance on the national anthem affect the Dallas Cowboys season, which I think it has already become a distraction. The New York Giants, they're a much different team on paper than they were last year, and I think that will change the results on the field as well for the better. Washington Redskins, they got a little ways to go, as I've said. So that's my take on the NFC East, the NFC East 2018 Outlook. I'm Ryan Thomas. Thank you for tuning into the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Take care, everybody.